10%. That is the probability Elon Musk recently assigned to Grok 5 reaching artificial general intelligence. His current model, Grok 4, already tops benchmarks in multi-step reasoning, yet it remains a text-constrained chatbot. It is built to process language, not to navigate the world. To move past those constraints, XAI is building on a massive physical scale. They've established a custom supercomputer hub in Memphis, Tennessee called Colossus 2. The facility houses roughly 1 million high-end GPUs, consuming a full gigawatt of electricity. This level of power consumption makes it the most expensive AI training run in history. This hardware supports an architecture that functions less like a standard script and more like a coordinated agent, organized into 3 distinct layers: senses, a brain, and hands. Most AI models rely on static, historical web scrapes. This means their knowledge begins to decay the moment training is finished. Grok has direct access to the X platform, ingesting a continuous fire hose of live social data, cultural trends, and breaking news as they develop. A second pipeline is currently being integrated to provide physical data, the camera feeds and sensor readings from millions of Tesla vehicles on the road. This dual-stream approach allows the model to observe both digital human culture and the physical world in real time, rather than just reading about them in an archive. To manage that influx of data, Grok 5 uses an internal architecture of 6 trillion parameters. This is roughly 35 times the size of the original GPT-4. To keep a model of this scale from becoming too slow to run, XAI uses a mixture of experts architecture. This system only activates the specialized subnetworks needed for a specific query. It functions like a hospital triage system. Instead of involving every doctor in the building, the system routes the data only to the relevant specialist, keeping the massive parameter count economically viable. This efficiency enables a 1.5 million token context window. That is enough memory to hold the equivalent of 15 entire novels in its active workspace during a single conversation. When you combine that massive memory with high-speed processing, the model gains the ability to watch and understand continuous, real-time video feeds. The video processing layer leads to Grok 5's most significant feature, vision-based agentic capability. This allows the AI to move from observing information to participating in tasks. Rather than relying on back-end code or APIs, the AI operates software by literally watching your screen at 150 milliseconds of latency. By visually interpreting the interface, the model can directly control the mouse and keyboard to execute multi-step workflows in any application. Grok can also spawn dynamic sub-agents. If you give it a complex project, Grok can create miniature versions of itself to handle parallel tasks across different software windows. These capabilities mark a shift in how we interact with computers. The AI is no longer just a reference tool, it is an autonomous digital employee. Granting an autonomous agent this level of control introduces severe safety risks. We have already seen the baseline failure in Grok 4, which allowed users to generate explicit, non-consensual deepfakes. The fallout resulted in a €45 million fine from the EU under the Digital Services Act, along with orders to preserve all of XAI's documents. Prime ministers across the UK and Canada followed with public condemnations and fast-tracked criminal legislation targeting synthetic imagery. As the model scales to 6 trillion parameters with native video generation and screen control, the potential for harm grows. The more autonomous the agent becomes, the larger its attack surface for misuse. Musk's approach focuses on filtering out deceptive model checkpoints during training. However, intent alone does not guarantee safety when an autonomous agent is given the keys to a user's operating system. While analysts suggest a public beta in mid-2026, it is important to remember that Musk's product timelines often shift significantly before a final release. Independent researchers are also more cautious than Musk. While he predicts AGI is near, the broad consensus among AI experts suggests that human-level intelligence across all domains is still decades away. Grok 5 will also face intense competition. By the time it launches, it will be measured against GPT-5, Gemini 3, and new iterations of Claude. The takeaway for users is less about the specific launch date and more about the move toward agentic workflows. Software is becoming something that acts on your behalf. Regardless of the AGI label, Grok 5 signals the moment where AI stops answering questions and starts taking action.